Hey there, friends and enemies, Jopa here again, and over the last few days, we've seen a massive resurgence in the number of people talking about and playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and the game is still very fun. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't in a while. It had an incredibly rocky launch, lots of problems with loot boxes and microtransactions, and all that kind of good stuff. There was a lot of balancing issues, but much of that has been corrected over the course of time, and the game is very fun to play right now. However, the big question on everyone's mind is whether or not we'll eventually see a Battlefront 3. And I hate to disappoint everyone, but I personally find it incredibly unlikely anytime in the near future. Same thing with Titanfall 3. Those are games that I would absolutely love to play, and I would main them for a long stretch of time, but it just doesn't seem like EA has any interest in prolonging either franchise, and it's something that fills me with incredible sadness because these are games that I think could do very, very well. But there's a couple issues that I think prevent, especially PvP games, from being made right now, especially with everything going on. So many of the games currently out are either free to play or Call of Duty. That's basically it. Most of the games that are not completely PvP will have to have a large PvE element. I'm not sure if they would want to do that with the next Battlefront or not. That is a very big question. I know the last one did have some PvE, but it wasn't the main focus. Same thing with Titanfall. Titanfall had a very good campaign, but they would have to do that once again and still provide very fun PvP. And that's a difficult thing to do if they're going to charge money for the game. Otherwise, if they go directly straight up PvP, they would need to probably go free to play, maybe a $40 title. But again, those have received a lot of backlash. Plus, after Battlefront's controversies with loot boxes and microtransactions, it's unlikely that they're going to go down that route once again as well. And the big problem that I see is there's no massive multiplayer PvP experience out there right now. For a long time, we were getting games like Battlefield and Battlefront pretty regularly, and now that just does not seem to be the case, which is incredibly unfortunate. I know we're getting a new Battlefield at some time in the near future. It's going through like alpha and technical tests at the current time, but I would love to have options in the space, and I think that's the area that's really missing. We see a lot of battle royales and extraction shooters and other hero shooters coming out right now, but we're missing these large scale over-the-top experiences, and that's something that I feel like is almost more fun for the casual player because you're not really worried about your KD as much. You're roaming around a battlefield, getting some kills, getting some picks along the way. You're leveling up, whether it is through better weapons or different characters in Battlefront. And I just hope that they look at everything that's out there, whether it's EA or another company, and understand this is a massive hole in the market that is crying out to be filled. Same thing with Titanfall. A sci-fi fast movement type of game I think would be excellent right now because it's just not something that we see very consistently. And so that's where going back to Battlefield or Battlefront specifically, I do feel like this is one where the game would be a success. The Star Wars franchise did take a dip, but now with Andor, we've got the Mandalorian movie coming out. I do feel like there would be time to make a game that would be incredibly successful. You could put in a lot of the new and old characters. If it's free to play, you could do skins for the various characters, for the various looks throughout all the different movies and everything. You could still do all of that, kind of copy the Marvel Rivals thing that they're doing with their skins, and have the game be successful. I do wish this was something we would see more of going forward. I want different types of PvP experiences to be made. It feels like far too many of them are similar or the same as other options on the market. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be Star Wars. Imagine a Destiny game that's like this, that's just PvP focused and has these large scale battles with some of the characters you know and love from across the history of the game. Maybe you could have something like this for Dune. We have a game, survival MMO game coming out for Dune already, but a massive open PvP type of event would be something that I think could be very successful as well. There's just so many franchises that would succeed. You could do an all new original sci-fi world and then do some PvE missions that tell the story while also having the PvP be an option as well. And I just think after playing this is what we are missing right now with gaming. We have tactical shooters, we have hero shooters, we have extraction shooters, we have battle royales, mostly shooters, and we have Call of Duty and similar games like that as well. But we're just missing these massive feeling war type games that I feel that they just provide a different type of experience. And while your individual effort may not be make or break in these games, sometimes you can have modes where it comes down to small moments that make all the difference between winning and losing and achieving the objective or not. And it's just a bummer that we don't see any of these anymore. And it's really the one area, like I said, that I feel like we are incredibly lacking in right now. The hope is that Battlefield will be a return to form and will be very good with the next iteration. I don't know if I'm really convinced that's going to be the case. And without a Battlefront in the future going forward, it just feels like we are missing something pretty large. So of these two, one, I would love to hear whether people would prefer to get a Titanfall 3 or a Battlefront 3. Whichever one of those people prefer would be very, very interesting to me. I'm 50-50. I wouldn't mind either way. I would take either game and play them an absolute ton. But it does feel like realistically Battlefront would be more likely, even though, again, the cost of the IP, having to pay for the license of Star Wars is incredibly prohibitive. Titanfall is more of a in-house EA thing, and so while EA kind of controls both, they also have Battlefield as well, so they're kind of all in on these kind of experiences. It just doesn't feel like they are in any position to want to take any of these risks, and that's just a bummer. I do hope that with this resurgence of Battlefront 2, with people talking about it so much, maybe there are some feelers put out. So if it's not EA that does this game, maybe the Star Wars and Lucasfilm's games can push it out to another studio, or at least send it to a third party who could assist with a game of that nature. Either way, I am not going to get my hopes up. I don't believe this is something we'll see anytime soon, but never say never, and hopefully we get a Battlefront 3 sometime in the future, whenever that may be. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like the video as always, comment, subscribe. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.